breaks his leg, you shoot him.
Right.
And I said,
send it to the pastor.
I said, Jerry Lawler's not the king anymore. Today, I'm crowning the new king of wrestling. It's either going to be Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Precious Paul Ellering, Ali Hassan, or the Cuban Assassin. I forget who else. And so, and that's what really happened on the thing. And of course, I didn't crown Handsome Jimmy, who was in the first family. And all of a sudden, all heck breaks loose, and we had a heck of a run. So it was Jimmy Hart in the first family against Bill Dundee and Jimmy Valiant. And then week after week, when Lawler finally came back, almost after a year, we started bringing different people in to fight Jerry. Every Monday night, we'd bring different people in to go up against him. You know, we brought Hulk Hogan.
Now back then, Jerry was the stuff. I almost want to say Jerry was the stuff back then.
Well, Jerry was. He was really the hottest thing in Memphis, and probably still is one of the biggest names and hottest thing ever that came from professional wrestling. Here before him, it was Jackie Fargo, and Sputnik Monroe, and Billy Wicks, and you know, so many of the great stars that came before us that really made this business. And he'd be the first to tell you that too. And like I said, Jerry's the one who got me in professional wrestling, but you know, he just didn't open the door. He gave me the key to get in the door, but I had to really stay and do it. But I guess it really worked out good because Vince saw the tapes originally and brought me to New York.
Well, you know, now I also remember you had a brief stay in WCW. It was the opponent back then to the WWE, so to speak.
Well,
and you know, and Sting and Hogan was there for a while, and the rest of the guys.
I had a great run. I was there for almost 10 years with the WWE, and gosh, I was on WrestleMania 1. People always say, what's the most important thing? Is it the WWE Hall of Fame ring in 2005 when I was inducted with Piper and Hulk Hogan and Paul Orndorff and Horton and oh my gosh, Nikolai Volkov, the Iron Sheik. Was it WrestleMania 3 before 93,000 people in the Superdome when I went out 3 different times with Honky Tonk Man against Jake Roberts with Alice Cooper, or had the Hart Foundation against the Bulldogs with Dangerous Danny Davis, which was a kind of a 6-man match.
Right.
I think Tito might have been in that too. Or was it the hair match that I was on for WrestleMania 3 with Adrian Adonis against Piper? That was important too, but really, this is so important to me, the ring, but being part of WrestleMania 1 was so important to me when I managed Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Right.
And then I had King Kong Bundy against S.D. Jones.
Now, you know, I have a cousin that still has that footage.
Oh,
we're big wrestling fans.
Oh, man, God bless you.
My uncle was the guy back at the Coliseum, and God bless, rest his soul, he's gone on the glory, that jumped into the ring.
Ooh.
If you remember, when Sam Bass had Lawler and Jim White, and they were fighting Tojo and Jackie or Jerry or something. My uncle was the guy that had a little bit too much corn liquor and dived into the ring, and they clotheslined him, and then he ended up getting barred from the Coliseum. So I know Jerry will remember that, but that was my mother's brother.
Well, but you know what? But going back to what I was saying, but the most important thing would be WrestleMania 1, because if WrestleMania 1 had not been successful, there wouldn't be a WrestleMania 26 coming up this year in Phoenix, Arizona. You know, so you know, everything's been good. It really has.
Well, you guys definitely kind of paved the way for a lot of the newer guys, and you know, I always say Vince McMahon is a marketing genius.
He gave Jimmy Hart the keys to the world. I mean, when he picked, he could have picked Jerry Lawler. Right. He could have picked Jimmy Valiant.
Well, there were so many other managers that came.
Oh my gosh! I mean, everybody was great, but for some reason, you know, I was the lucky one that got to go, and then of course Jerry Lawler, like everything else, followed me up to New York. And then after I got in the Hall of Fame, then he came in the Hall of Fame. But Jimmy Hart's always worked. No, I'm just kidding. But Vince really gave me the keys to the world by being with the WWE, and I'll always be grateful for that. And matter of fact, I still do a lot of projects with him now, with the publicity and stuff. And you know, we have all the action figures and stuff out. But by going up there and being on the first WrestleMania, which was kind of the Rock Wrestling connection, I met a gentleman, Dave Wolf, that was the manager at the time of Cyndi Lauper. Right. And Dick Clark was part of that too. So they were doing their very first wrestling album. And I got to do some of the songs later on, me and my partner Jim McGuire, on some of the wrestling albums. And so, you know, the music still kind of carried on. Even with
since then, because that was what, 20 plus years ago with WrestleMania 1. You have had
almost 26 coming up.
You have had several wrestling DVDs and CDs out with your music on it, and are you still recording new music?
Well, I haven't really gone in lately to do anything, but a lot of the songs are still played. Shawn Michaels, "Sexy Boy." I know in WCW we wrote the Wolfpack song for Nash and Hall, Buff the Stuff. Back in WWE, "Bird, Bird, Bird" for Coco Beware, and he sang it. See, I was always happy about the stuff that we did because we always made sure the guys could sing the songs, and I think that makes it more special. Right. Honky Tonk Man stuff, we cut some of it right here in Memphis, Tennessee, a honky love and a honky dog baby.
Right.
And we had the Rougeau brothers, that one of my favorites, All American Boys, and the one lyric was, "We don't like heavy metal, we don't like rock and roll. All we like to listen to is Barry Manilow, hey!" You know, and so, but we had so much fun. The American Dream song, Dusty Rhodes, yeah, Snuka stuff, Demolition, Road Warriors theme. I mean, just so many of them we were blessed by being part of. And Randy and Liz's wedding song. Right. So some of that stuff still gets played. Ted DiBiase, $1 Million Man, right. Money, 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 money. So.
Well, now let me ask you this: and seeing the time that you spent in entertainment, professional entertainment, and looking back now, back to then, how does it make you feel to see so many second and third generation entertainers come along? You know, guys that were not around, you know, and you were friends with their fathers, or before their fathers were even superstars, you were there.
It's been great. You know, that's one thing about the business, you know. I have a T-shirt with a Jimmy Hart caricature on the front, and on the back of it it says, "Championship belts are won and lost, but legends last forever." Not live forever, because everybody's going to take the ride in that old black limousine at one time. But in your heart, if you were a baseball fan, and if your favorite player was Willie Mays, no matter who comes along, he's still going to be your favorite. Right. If my favorite football player at one time was Johnny Unitas, no matter who comes along, no matter how good they're going to be, that's going to be your man always. And the same thing in wrestling. If you were a Sputnik Monroe fan or Billy Wicks or whoever, no matter who comes along, you're going to like some of the newer talent. But still, those memories are always going to be there. You know, it's hard to kill a memory. Well,
you know, because like I go to the matches now, and I work with a few guys, with Corey, you know, I see you and Jerry and Bill and some of the older guys come back, Stan and Steve and stuff, and the crowd just goes crazy, go wild when you walk in. Even if they're booing you, even if you're the bad guy on that night, there's still a certain amount of energy and love that you guys receive for still being into the business from the fans.
Well, you know, it's so great to go around Memphis. I love coming back to do the shows once a year with Corey and them, and every now and then I try to do a call-in radio thing, you know, for TV when he wants me to do something. But having all those old tapes, the people go back into their memory bank, and when they see Jimmy Hart managing Austin Idol and Handsome Jimmy together, or see the First Family with Coco Beware and the PYT Express with Norvell Austin, or Big Joe LeDuc, or Killer Carl Krupp, or Plowboy Frazier, when we had him as Plowboy Frazier, then the next week I'd have him out as the Long Ranger, and you know, and so or the Bruise Brothers. You know, it's just so many great stories and so many great things that happened back then. But they're etched into everybody's minds here, because everybody that watched us growing up, they're either car dealers, they own car dealerships, or doctors, or lawyers, or look at Dr. Harrington, who is just retiring, which he's been a big wrestling fan forever. Right, and so these, you know, no matter who you are.
Yeah, and you guys are obviously pretty good friends, because you were there right next to him at the retirement celebration on yesterday.
We came down, and when we heard that, Corey said, "We got to go," and I said, "Oh my God, let's go." And we walked in, and one of the ladies in charge, she said, "Jimmy, y'all got to stand right here. Dr. Harrington would love this. The mayor want," you know. So we did. First thing he came out, gave us. I mean, he's great. And you know what? What I really liked about his speech that he did was so cool, because he didn't read it. Right. It was not on a teleprompter, which most politicians, everything's on a teleprompter. When you see them word for word, it's a teleprompter. But it came from his heart. And when he gave the roses to his mom, right, and said, "There's not a day that doesn't go by that I don't go and see my mom every day." And one of the things he said, no matter if there's two groups, and 1 month you side with this group, the other group's going to hate you, and then next month you side with them, and right, so you know, it's a hard situation. But him to be in this many terms, oh my gosh, it's phenomenal. Nobody will ever duplicate that again.
Well, you know, and I say this to you, and I'm also saying it to the mayor. I just think that